This video going to be spectating a Grandmaster Jeff the Shark player after the season 2.5 nerfs and rework to Jeff to see what he does better and how we can improve together. So we have a player here built better and we're going to be seeing how they play with this new Jeff update, right? This guy drops a lot of kills, to be fair, so we want to see what's the difference in playstyle between Jeff before and Jeff now, and it should hopefully give you an understanding of how you want to be playing Jeff now as well, right? And straight away you can notice we're in the back line of our own team. We're getting flanked by a magic. We're getting some help of peels with our rocket here, and we're now outputting healing to our team, right? And essentially Jeff plays more like a strategist now, and that is obviously how you're going to want to start playing him. And what's really good about Jeff is that because his primary does damage and does healing and goes through teammates and enemies, and also it has quite a really far range on it as well, essentially you want to be getting good lines of sight so that your healing goes and tackles multiple people at the same time. And the trouble with Jeff now obviously is that he can't be a self-sustain hero, which I don't think any hero should be able to sustain themselves at all, to be honest, especially for an extremely long period of time. So Jeff can still sustain a little bit, but to be honest is nowhere near as good as what we had before. Now obviously he's teaming up here with his thing, and again he's staying in the back lines. He's not doing any flanking, and he gets taken out a couple of times here in this round. But again, we're going to see how he plays throughout the rest of this game. He doesn't die too often, so most of his deaths might be the start, just try to get a feel for the game and the way enemy team is playing. And again, the secondary fire in this, in my opinion now, is not all that useful, even though it does knock enemies up. I think it's just for that extra little bit of damage before you need to reload. Now, I don't think it's going to be like extremely useful for that knock-up effect, because to be honest, you don't even really notice it sometimes. And that's for my playtime with Jeff. I don't play a ton of Jeff, if I'm being honest, so this is why I like spectating people that have kind of mained the hero for a long time or are using the hero in the correct way. So as you can see, try to get a better angle to heal the teammates there, dealing a bit of damage from a kind of flank angle. And obviously you can play Jeff at angles, that's not a problem. It's just that you can't self-sustain it fully in the back line, right? You can hold those angles, keep yourself alive, keep good cover. And what's great is that the damage output of Jeff is super easy now, right? You don't need to aim your splashes anymore because it is a secondary fire. Obviously, if you are landing the secondary fires, you're going to get a little bit more damage output. But if you look at the kind of damage you're dealing with primary, it's just super easy damage output, right? And you're really good at taking out flyers with Jeff as well, man. That's one thing I do want to mention. I feel like it's so much easier now to take out flyers with Jeff than it was before, or anyone that kind of moves a bit quicker than usual, right? So any kind of dive. So Jeff can deal with dives super good as a strategist now. Not only can he just go underground, obviously I know it's now for a shorter length of time, but also his attack's just super easy now. So he's trying to heal up his Hulk right here, and his Hulk is doing a decent job. He survives that somehow, and that's because of the Iron Man ult as well, which Iron Man does go down, unfortunately. Getting dived quite a lot here by the magic, and this is when, if you watch support players play and then when you're playing in the front line and you don't notice what's happening to your supports, this is kind of what happens in the back line when there's a dive hero constantly targeting the support heroes, where that magic's came to the back line so many times. We've dealt with them. This is going to be a really good ultimate here, spitting out the allies at some point, hopefully. Yep. And then spitting out the enemies off the map. It's a penny and a thing. Misses the thing. The thing's still there, didn't die. That's crazy though. And he kind of messed that up a little. But in one of these high ranked games, it is a bit more difficult. You want to get straight back in the fight. People can kind of kill you whilst you're trying to spit out the enemy players and stuff as well. Holding a good angle here on the wall, like this is a really good place to hold with his team. Just kind of sitting back, heal botting the team up, which is obviously his job. Should be healing the Namor up there as well, and getting this angle here to deal a little bit of damage. And Jeff is going to be like a super easy strategist for people to use, right? almost like the new Cloak and Dagger in a way. And I think Jeff, right now, is probably slightly better than Cloak and Dagger, to be honest. Just the way he can deal with dive, in my opinion, a little bit easier. And the healing output is going to be insane with Jeff, right? Because even though he heals a bit less than before, just the fact that you're dealing damage at the same time, you're going to feel like you're getting a lot more value with Jeff because of the damage that you're dealing and healing at the same time. It was a good change. I just feel like his survivability could have been a little bit improved or kept the same almost, right? Because he's not really outputting the same amount of damage before either. This magic is all over him, man. This is basically his entire game is just worrying about this magic the whole entire time. He is getting peels, which is great. The Ultron's helping out as well, putting the drone on him. So that's good to see. Needs to go underground here, and he'll survive that. Held this very, very well, by the way. The whole entire team held this. He's getting peeled for. His Ultron is outputting good heals as well. And now he's trying to flank out that penny nest, just trying to get rid of it. The enemy team's not spotted him yet, but now he can go underground and he's using his ultimate. He ran out of his ability though, unfortunately. Now that we're halfway through this video, if you are enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we do spectate high level players, low level players, and any buffs and nerfs that happen every half season, as it almost changes the way the hero should be played. And if you want to get a good understanding of how you should use that specific hero every season, then stay tuned to the channel as we like to spectate every season round, and we always spectate some of the best players in the game. Let's get straight back into it. On the attacking side now, and again, I think Jeff is still pretty solid attacking strategist. I don't think he's bad in any way. Again, sitting in the backline here, he's not flanking no more. And just please, if you take anything away from this video, don't flank with him. I think people in lower ranks weren't flanking with him anyway, and this is why they made this change. Right now he is flanking though, so sometimes you can. Doing a really good job of taking out the penny nest, man, because the amount of damage you do as Jeff and the kind of easy damage you do to that is great. Some heroes do really good at taking out kind of enemies' abilities or enemy utility, right? So that's root walls, penny nests, these kind of things, Namor squids. There's specific heroes that should be dealing with those in particular. And for example, I feel like Thor's really good at doing it as well, taking out penny nests and when he's in his awakening rune state. And also Squirrel Girl's another really good one for that as well. And some other heroes take a little bit longer to destroy these objects, so you want to make sure you know which kind of hero you are, and then you focus the objects for your team so they can do their job as well, right? So they're not getting constantly killed by penny mines, for example. Outputting that damage now, super easy damage. He could have killed the enemy that was sitting in the back, that was low HP there. I think they should try to focus. Scarlet Witch, I believe that is. Yep, it's a Scarlet Witch that's in the back line. Gets the Penny Parker as well. And here we're waiting on another Jeff. So we've got a Jeff v Jeff going on here. And we're holding this point really, really well. So the enemy team is going to wait for us to push through this doorway so they've got the better angle. But he's trying to get a bit of a flank off here. And again, the magic's doing the diving once more, as always. Basically, the whole entire game. Solo ults the magic. I think this one's a bit personal, to be fair, because the magic is ulted the whole entire game. Didn't even throw her off the map. That one was definitely personal. Takes out the Cloak and Dagger, takes out the Thor, gets a flank if the timing is correct. Two enemies were low HP and the flank worked out perfectly that time. And now we're looking again at the penny nest. Forget about Penny Parker, take out the penny nest. He's doing his job correctly here. Moon Knight's got some unks on the ground now as well, so he's focusing on taking those out too. We've now got an enemy Jeff the Shark ultimate, and we're in the penny nest this time, so we do die to that. And that's why you need to focus these things, because you do die very easily to Penny Parker if she's got her nest up, especially if she's got the rocket team up now as well. Another thing to really look out for. People are annoyed about the rocket team up. I think Penny Parker is just made even better with that team up. But regardless, it's just something you need to kind of keep an eye on. Outputting that healing, and Jeff's healing is actually pretty solid, to be honest. In general, if you combine his bubbles with his primary healing, is actually pretty solid. People are just talking all about his bubbles and how they're not that good anymore. But keep in mind, Jeff has primary healing too. it's not just the bubbles, right? But the bubbles themselves are actually pretty decent and strong healing abilities as well. Not as good as they were before, but they're still pretty decent. And as you can see here, keeping himself alive with the bubbles, throwing that secondary fire down. But as you can see, it's not really that valuable anymore. The knock-up effect is definitely not that valuable, right? You're obviously using it just mainly for the damage aspect. But as you can see, we're mainly using the primary for the damage, right? We're not really using that secondary fire because it's nowhere near as good as it was before. Healing up his team here now, as you can see. Got the heal on his 2 tanks, almost got them both to full HP, which is pretty solid. Now flanking a little, gets targeted by the Scarlet Witch, which is someone you want to stay away from as Jeff, because even if you're underground, you could still get locked onto. Really good ult placement here. This is such good ult. He just needs to go off the map with this one. Or spits them off. Great ultimate there. That was a fantastic ult placement. So when you're Jeff, you want to flank before you ultimate, because that way you're going to get a really solid angle on the enemy team, and you can get almost a 3-piece, which is exactly what you got there. There we have it. That's our player built better, who goes 41 kills and 3 deaths, which were at the start of the game quite earlier on, 22 assists, and he also does 17k healing, which you can see right next to the camera here. And I think that's a really solid output in healing. The enemy players Cloak and Dagger output the exact same amount of healing, which obviously we all know Cloak and Dagger is pretty strong at healing. So as you can see, Jeff is still a really solid healer, and I think he's still solid at dealing damage because his primary attack is just super easy to use now. The secondary is not all that useful, but also when it comes to ult placement, that's something that's always been the case actually. You want to make sure you're flanking to get the most amount of people inside your ultimate. But as you can see, this player's definitely made good use of Jeff. You want to play more like a strategist now. But if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching.